Welcome, I'm Cassandra, and this is your general forecast for September 2018. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So I'd like to take just a moment to those of you who watch my readings every month. You'll notice that I did not post last month. I did end up getting sick towards the end of July, and I did not actually start to feel well until August 12th, and I just figured, it's a bit too late to start now, so I just figured I'd take, the rest of the month to get myself back together, get my energy back up. So I'm here, and now I'm going to shut up because this is about you guys. So let's jump into it. Okay, so for the first card, this is Taurus Sun, Taurus Moons, and Taurus Risings. We have the Hermit card in the reverse position. So it seems that you could have potentially disregarded some good advice from someone else. But for most of you, I'm feeling like this is disregarding your own advice. Knowing what you should do, but then completely disregarding it. This could also be like, that inner voice. Maybe you didn't like what it said, and maybe you completely disregarded it, and you didn't listen to yourself. And so this is kind of where we're at. So this is kind of like a point of, it's time to reevaluate. Now, we do need to be careful because under this type of energy, this can indicate that, we have our head in the clouds. And when we have our head in the clouds, then we can't see how dark it really is outside. So it's like, if our head's in the clouds, we can't exactly see how true of the nature is of the situation taking place, on the earth, so to speak, with our head up in the clouds. So it's like we're missing it. We're not seeing it. Sometimes this can be about us having wishful thinking. But ultimately, this is about not listening to your own inner wisdom and advice. That, or someone could have given you advice and maybe you disregarded it. So it could go either way. Perhaps this could have been done like on impulse. Okay, so it's clarified by the Page of Swords. So it definitely seems that you guys probably received some unexpected news or information. This information most likely came from a third party. Sometimes this information can be secretive information. This information could have been obtained through spying. But there's always an element of, the information can be secret, information that we're not necessarily supposed to know. But this can also indicate where news comes in, and it comes in very unexpectedly. And sometimes this can be disappointing news. Sometimes there can even be a bit of a strange twist to it as well. Sometimes the news is delivered by someone younger, especially if you happen to learn about something. This could have came from someone that could have been younger than you that said, hey, you need to know about this, So maybe somebody came in, maybe this person might have been younger, maybe this person could have been from the air element, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, doesn't have to be. Could be male or female. And this news probably came out of the blue. So there's an unexpected element. There could also be a bit of a strange twist as well. And sometimes I tend to associate this card with kind of like a flight away from a dishonorable act. So I always use the reference of, you know, don't tell mom, but so there can definitely be an element where you may feel like someone is keeping something from you. And for a few of you, this could actually be something that's just taking place within yourself. You know, maybe you know what you were dealing with. Maybe you know what decisions and what choices you should make, and then maybe we just disregarded it. But no matter what, it's like news comes in and then we disregard it. So news or information, sometimes this could be certain events that could be unexpected. Sometimes the news can be pretty disappointing, and sometimes this news can be informing us of some deception that could have taken place. Okay, so for the circumstances, we have the Two of Coins. So this is a card where we're having to literally juggle things. So this can indicate that, you know, perhaps you're juggling your job. Perhaps you're juggling your home life. Maybe things are stressful right now. Maybe some of you are juggling multiple jobs. You know, maybe you're having to just multitask between doing everything. Job, family life, home life, relationships. Now, the good thing here is this is upright. So it shows that you were able to handle this. You have the stamina, you have the balance, you're maintaining the best that you can, and this is good. Now, a little something I want to warn you guys about is that, you know, there could potentially be some news that you might hear, but do not allow it to cause you to lose your balance, because we need to keep our balance while we're performing this juggling act, so to speak. So it is a possibility that you receive some news, and it could be even disappointing news, but do not allow it to make you lose your balance, because sometimes this news is not necessarily meant for us, or it may not be near as bad as we thought. Sometimes it could be misinformation. This can play out so many different ways, but no matter what, just maintain your balance and keep juggling. Just do try to be careful not to spread yourself too thin, because then we can run into a problem. Okay, so this would be the focus. So here we have the Judgment card. So you are able to see things clearly. Everything that's going on around you, you can see it clearly. Now, the Judgment card is definitely indicating that you have a decision that you have to make. And this decision is one that will have very long-term effects on your life. So we want to make the right decision, so we don't want to make, you know, a hasty decision. You know, we want to think about it. You know, maybe even study it a little bit before we make a decision, you know, and put it in concrete, so to speak, because this is going to be a decision that could literally be life-changing. But no matter what, this is a decision that will have very long-term effects on your life. Sometimes we can have several of these decisions come up for us, and then sometimes it's just, you know, every, you know, 10, 12, 15 years, you know, we're all different. So big decision, you know, that could affect the rest of your life. So, you know, do be careful. Do try to avoid making that snap decision, that snap judgment. Sometimes this card can be about judging others, so, do be careful on that end. I just like to throw a little bit of warnings in there so we don't have to worry about this card going to the reverse. So, yeah, just be ready, and, ultimately make the decision that is best for you, okay? And only you know what's best for you. So, don't let anybody else affect the decision, the choice that you make here. Be true to yourself and make the right choice for you and where you are in your life right now. Okay, so it's clarified by the Hermit in the upright position. So this is definitely saying you need to go within. You need to quiet the mind. You need to listen to your higher mind, the inner voice. The answers you seek can be answered within. If maybe you feel like you can't see clearly, then perhaps maybe you might find a trusted friend, or a family member, someone you can trust, and maybe get their advice. But no matter what, with the Hermit card in the upright, this definitely indicates some good advice, some good counsel will be given to you regarding the choice that you're considering making. And this is also a card, of reevaluation. It's also a card where we take our time to make a choice. So take your time. Don't make that decision on impulse. I mean, do whatever's best for you. I just advise that you take your time. Unless you absolutely know what's best for you and what you want. So every one of us are different. Not every Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising is dealing with this same exact situation. And, our journeys are unique to us, and not everybody wants the same thing, and that is okay. So just pick what's best for you. Okay, so for the recent past, we have the Knight of Cups. So this could play out many different ways. This could be energy that you took on yourself, or this could have been you actually dealing with someone. This could have been someone that was male or female. They could have potentially been Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. They don't have to be. This could just be about the overall energy. The Knight of Cups is, a message coming to us regarding love. A lot of times we see a proposal that comes our way with this type of card. So like a proposal for a potential romantic relationship. Sometimes this could even be about an invitation that we receive. This type of invitation would be to something like, say, an art show, maybe a comedy show, maybe like a music show, like a concert, maybe even a Broadway show, something, that would be around the arts. If it's artistic, then yeah, this would be it. Even poetry, things of that nature. Sometimes this can actually indicate where we receive a communication. So, could be an actual physical letter. It could be an email. It could even be a text message, verbal communication. I mean, it could even be a direct message, private message on a social network, that we receive from someone else, and maybe this person has love interest in you, or maybe you had a love interest in someone. Now, you see this cup up here? There's a circle around it. This cup is divine relief. So it's like divine aid and relief. So it would definitely appear that in the past you guys had this. This could have been recent past. For some of you, this could be further back in your past. Okay, so for the this would be the present, excuse me, the present, the here and the now energy. So we have the Nine of Cups, and this is the wish card. So for some of you, you've probably got a wish that you've been hoping to achieve. For some of you, this could be occurring more on a subconscious level. Maybe some of you are not even aware that you've been wishing for something or wanting something, but for most of you, you're going to be quite conscious of this particular wish. Now, with this being in the present position, this would definitely look like we're making headway with actually achieving getting this wish. So that's very, very positive. You know, and this wish could be many things. It could be a wish regarding a relationship. You know, it could be a wish regarding, you know, finances. I mean, the sky is the limit here. Okay, so here we have the near future. So we have the Eight of Coins. This is a card where I always refer to it as practice makes perfect. So we see this young woman, she's sitting here and she's painting these pentacles. Oh, I am so sorry. Excuse me. Okay, I'm very, very sorry. I apologize for that. My fur baby started barking, and boy, you guys did not want to hear all that. Okay, so I believe I was speaking about, see how she is taking extra care. She is like painting this pentacle. She's definitely taking her time. She's doing very detailed work. She has almost mastered her skill. Now, what does this mean for you? This means that you have a set of skills or a set of abilities that you could actually earn from. You could actually get recognition for them. So it's like taking a skill of ours and putting it to use so that, you know, we can receive money. You know, for some of you this could be about a job. For some of you this could be a hobby. But no matter what, it definitely would indicate that you have a set of skills and or abilities that could be quite profitable for you and could end up getting some recognition for you. So I always tend to say practice makes perfect when I see this card. It's a good card. Very good. Okay, so of course, here we are. We have the Taurus card. So it's clarified by faith, which is also known as the Hierophant. So we could actually just say, you know, maybe some of you don't have faith in your own abilities, and maybe you should. Maybe some of you do have faith and you know that this is going to work out. Now, the faith card in general, this is about things that are traditional, conventional, orthodox. This is also about conforming. So there could be the issue of we have to conform to someone's standards, say, maybe to utilize this skill and ability. Kind of like, you know, when we get a job, you know, if we're going to be using our skills and abilities in a job, then we're going to have to conform to the company's rules, you know. Now, the faith card is also speaks of a trade. It's like trading a service for actual money in return. So to me, this makes it seem like it would be related to a actual job. Now, for some of you, this could be like a creative project that you have on the side. For some of you, this could be a hobby. But if it happens to be like a hobby or a creative project or just an ability you have, you know, maybe you might want to utilize it because you could actually gain, you know, some money by using your skills and abilities. So it seems quite positive, but of course, you know, we will have to conform to the norm, you know, the rules, you know. Essentially, we don't want to go coloring too far out of the lines. So sometimes it's for the best. But hey, I mean, these are really good cards to have together. So, and most of all, you know, maintain that faith and the belief in yourself and your own abilities. Value yourself, your skills, and your abilities. Know your value. For some of you, you know, this could be about relationships. It could be, you know, relationships that are romantic or platonic. You know, the Hierophant, we definitely see this type of energy, especially associated with churches, also within marriages. The education system, so, you know, regular grammar school, all of that, and that, you know, right up to, you know, college. So some of you could be currently taking, you know, an online course, or some of you could be in college. Maybe you've learned a skill and now you're getting ready to set out and use that skill and put action behind it. But that's very, very positive. Now, here is the attitude card. I'm gonna be straight. This does not sit well with me. So, it's the Nine of Wands in reverse. So, it seems like you guys are just feeling like you're physically exhausted, potentially, maybe even mentally exhausted. It's like we're trying to achieve something here, and sometimes, a lot of times, this card is about defending ourselves, our values, our belief system. This could be about defending our family, our friends, you know, our loved ones in general, or even ourselves, you know. And when it's in the reverse like this, it's kind of like we're hanging by the end of the rope because we're feeling completely physically drained and exhausted. And it's like we're at the end of our rope and we're like, should I just give up? Is this even worth any more of my energy? Should I even continue? What this card is basically indicating is you need to take a little time off. Because sometimes when we're having to deal with situations like this, you know, for some of you, this could actually be affecting your health. Because if we stress ourselves out and push ourselves past the brink, you know, sometimes we can end up getting a little bit of a cold, or we just may end up feeling really, you know, sluggish, you know, because we can see the physical vitality of the body going down when we see the Nine of Wands in reverse. Because when it's in the upright position, the physical stamina and vitality is there. But in the reverse, we're losing it because we've just pushed ourselves, and it's like a constant battle that we've been going through. Like, we feel like, you know, some of you may feel like you're being attacked by other people. You know, not physically attacked, but, you know, mentally, verbally. You know, maybe you feel like people are trying to provoke you, push your buttons, and it's just wearing you thin. Maybe for some of you, you're having to go after a particular goal, and it just seems so far out of reach after you've worked so hard. And maybe some of you just might be wondering if you should give up. And see, if you're feeling like you might, like you know, wondering if you should give up, this would be the time to take a step back, take a break. You know, it's okay to take a break for a day or two, you know, because this time off will allow us to, first and foremost, regain some of our stamina and vitality. And then we might be able to look at things a bit more objectively after we've pulled ourselves back from whatever this is here. So we need to pull ourselves back so we can take an objective look at things. Because sometimes, you know, it could be something small that we just need to correct that could make everything move smoothly again. And then it also gives you the time to process. Is this something that you're truly passionate about? Is this something that you really want? Is it really worth it? You know. And if it is, then just take this break. Allow yourself to, you know, get a little bit of rest and recuperate. And then you can get back out there and fight the good fight. And at least you'll have some, you know, you'll have that stamina and that physical vitality to do so. But yeah, as it sits right now, it looks like you guys need to take a break. Okay, so this is how other people see you. So we have the Queen of Swords in the reversed position. So when the Queen of Swords is in reverse, she's very much out of balance. This is where emotion is in control and our intellect has taken a back seat. So we are reacting more emotional rather than thinking logically. Now, there is a tendency to be a bit narrow-minded when the Queen of Swords is in reverse, so do try to be aware of that. Sometimes, you know, this card's about we need to look at things from the collective point of view. And a lot of times when the Queen of Swords is in reverse, we're just looking at our own small worldview from our own perspective. And when the Queen of Swords is in reverse, she's not seeing things clearly. It's like she's wearing a pair of rose-colored spectacles. And so we need to see things from a collective point of view. And, you know, to use another analogy, instead of just focusing on a couple of trees, we need to be looking at the whole entire forest rather than just focusing on, okay, these are my 3 trees right here, I'm just going to focus on these. We don't want to do that because there's a whole entire forest behind those 3 trees. And that makes a huge difference, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Now, so the Queen of Swords in reverse, she's going to react very negatively, you know, very, very harsh, because her tongue is the actual sword. So you do not want to cross the Queen of Swords. So for those of you who are cross-watching, if you have a Taurus in your life and they're going through something right now, they say something that may come across as a bit hurtful, just try to give them the benefit of the doubt, because, you know, they're going through something and they may not mean exactly the way it comes across. Because the tendency with this card would be to just say something real quick, and we may not necessarily mean it that way, but it can come across, you know, pretty horrible to those on the receiving end, and it may have not even meant to be intended to be taken that way. So just do try to keep an open mind and know that they're going through something. Okay, back to Taurus. So do try to be careful. You know, sometimes this can be where we're acting overly pushy. And a lot of times we may be trying to force other people to see things our way. You know, maybe you have a very set way of thinking regarding certain things and situations. And, well, you're Taurus, so you've definitely dug your heels in. But we need to try to be open the best that we can. But, you know, the Queen of Swords is, you know, when she's in reverse, she has gone through a loss of some sort. So, and this is why she can react harshly. It's not necessarily because she wants to, it's just she's going through something and maybe you don't know how to express it. But we definitely need to find the balance again. You know, and the sword it represents truth. And when it's in the reverse, we're not working with the truth, or we're not looking at it and taking into consideration the truth. Maybe we're trying to shove our own truth down other people's throats. And you got to realize that just because we think a certain way, not everybody else is going to. And while that can be frustrating, especially if we're trying to make our point and get our point of view across, we can't shove it down other people's throats either. So just try to be careful. I can understand, you know, some of you may feel like you need to explain yourself and why people should, you know, be thinking and looking at something the way that you are, but not everybody's going to conform and fall into line. So just try to keep an open mind and do your best to try to find your balance again. The best thing I can recommend is meditation. Some of you may laugh at that. Some of you will be like, yeah, that's good. That's right. So, I mean, it can really, really help. Even if it's just for 5 minutes that you take the time to just quiet your thoughts and just close your eyes and just let your mind go blank. Let it go where it wants to go. We need to quiet ourselves so that we can find our balance again, so we can center ourselves. Okay. So this is the Knight of Coins. He's in the reverse position. This would be the hopes and the fears position. Sometimes this can give us a little glimpse into the subconscious. So for some of you, you may absolutely resonate with what I'm going to say, and some of you may not. For some of you, this could be something that's more subconscious and you're just not consciously aware of it. Okay, so with the Knight of Coins in reverse, this is us definitely going through a delay, especially in regards to endeavors regarding finances, jobs, finances in general, investments, things of that nature. Now, a lot of times with this card, the Knight of Coins in reverse, there is a tendency for us to be very scattered and spread too thin. That's why I said be careful. We don't want to do that. And not all of you will, okay? But, some of you could be worried about that. But it's definitely a warning to not spread yourself too thin. With the Knight of Coins in reverse, sometimes this can be about, we have commitments and then it's like we don't live up to our end of the deal, so to speak. And it's not because we didn't want to, it's just we're feeling scattered and, we're going through some things that we don't necessarily like. And, it's all of a financial nature pretty much. And, this can also be some pessimistic behavior, attitude, looking at things in a negative way. We don't want to be doing that. The more that we think negatively, the more that we can attract more negativity to us. So we don't want to think that way. And, a lot of times with that card, we want to withdraw. We want to be left alone. Sometimes it can even be malcontent. It's about going through something, and it's always got something to do with our money, our finances, our job, an investment, certain commitments that we're not able to live up to or fulfill our end of this, it just, it's really, really frustrating. Sometimes this can be about receiving some disappointing news in regards to financial matters, and we're just not handling it well. Whew, okay, yeah, I gotta move forward. Okay. So, the final outcome card is the Two of Wands in reverse. So, this is where we have literally set something into motion. So, we've literally materialized. We put it out there, and now we're just waiting to hear back on, is this going to work out? Is this not going to work out? But when it's in the reverse position like this, it's kind of like we take one step forward and then we have to take one step back. Now we're at square one yet again. And for some of you, this could indicate that, there's going to be a delay. And this delay is going to have to do with receiving a response from someone or something, but, this could be about a job. This could be about many different things. So, but it's like we're waiting on a response. This could even be about a business partnership or a partnership of some sort. And with this in the reverse, this would definitely indicate that things are not equal between the two partners. So something needs to change. So this card is about delay in regards to finding out, hearing back. A lot of times this is about a decision or, finding out if you're approved or if you've submitted an idea if they're going to accept it or not. This could be so many different things. So this is a card where typically he's looking out at the ocean, but not in this deck. But no matter what, we're waiting on a decision to be made. And I must warn that, a lot of times when this happens, it is a delay. And we may even need to take a step back, look at things objectively. Maybe we need to modify something within our plan. Whatever we set into motion, maybe something needs to be modified, tweaked a little bit. And sometimes it can even indicate that we might need to just start over. Now, I have the clarifying card of the Sun in the reversed position. So this is like a double dose of a delay. And with the Sun in reverse, this is definitely saying that this delay is causing you to lose all of your optimism, maybe even your hope too. And I don't want you guys losing your hope and your optimism. While I understand it's very, very difficult to deal with these delays, it's super, super frustrating. Especially if it's something that you've put a lot of your time, your effort into. Maybe even your money. Maybe it's something really big. Maybe it's something you really, really care about. So, it can really be frustrating to experience this delay. But I don't want it to zap your guys' optimism and your hope. Because we need it. We need to have optimism. We need to be optimistic. So the Sun in reverse, a lot of times we could hit a crossroads. This crossroads could appear within a relationship. Could be a platonic relationship, could be a romantic relationship. This could be a crossroads within a marriage where you're just wondering, should you even continue to try? Should I even put any more of my energy into this? Or is this something that I should just call quits? And when the Sun is in reverse, it's kind of like we're leaning towards just letting everything fall away. And you don't necessarily want to do that. Just because we have a delay does not mean that it won't ever happen. And the way I like to look at delays, and I really encourage you guys to hear me out here. A delay happens for a very good reason, and more times than not, we're not going to know why the delay happens. We're just focused on the actual delay and what it's preventing us from, getting done or achieving, whatever it may be. Now, the delay has a very good purpose, although we don't necessarily see it or realize it in the moment. Sometimes a delay is literally preventing us from getting hurt further down the line. Sometimes a delay happens because, maybe the universe realizes, this really isn't what's best for you. So we're just going to keep delaying it. Sometimes you're just simply being delayed because of other circumstances. Sometimes it's preventing you from running into people who could be pretty toxic and harmful to our situations. There's always a reason for the delay. Kind of like, normally you go out the door at, say, 8 a.m. to head to work. But this one day, you literally lost your keys. It took you 10 extra minutes to finally find your keys, get in the car. You're upset. You're going to be late to work. And then you realize as you hit a traffic jam that there was an accident. Well, that delay happened to prevent you from getting involved in that accident. So that is kind of where I'm going with this. I know I don't always explain things the best way, but I hope that helps to understand that these delays do serve a purpose, and we just can't always see, but they happen for a reason. It's not one of those things where we just need to say, okay, I've hit the delay, let me just, say goodbye to my optimism and let me just move on. A delay does not always mean that we're not going to achieve what we want, or we're not going to get what we want. It just means not right this second. And there's always a good reason for it. So this is just kind of one of those things where you need to have that faith. You need to maintain that optimism, because that is what can pull you through. And if we can have faith and optimism, then we can bring this sun right up. And guess what? When the sun comes up to the upright position, so will the Two of Wands. So I'm just going to keep that here in the upright position. I'm going to place a crystal on it because I believe in you guys, and I want you guys to believe in yourself as well. Okay? It's just a temporary delay. Don't lose your hope. Don't lose your optimism. Don't lose your faith. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it set you back, okay? Some of you might be experiencing issues, within your relationships. Don't let it zap the life force out of you, okay? These situations are, not always the best, but we have to keep going. We have to keep moving. And I want you guys to believe in yourself and to have faith, because it will work out. It always does eventually. So please believe in yourself. I believe in you. If no one else has told you that, maybe you feel like you're not appreciated. I appreciate you. I believe in you. Don't lose your hope. Stay optimistic. Do the best you can to maintain that optimism. And try to be careful of negative thinking, which is creeping in on every single one of us. It doesn't matter what your zodiac sign is. That negativity is trying to creep in with all of us. Don't let it. Despite the situations that we go through, we need to rise above them. We need to be strong. We need to be optimistic. We need to have faith. And we got to be strong in our belief within ourselves. But this is the time to be focusing on everything that we do have, that we should feel grateful and thankful for. Because when these types of things come up, this is when we need to acknowledge our blessings and try to focus on those things that we feel grateful and thankful for. Now for the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Coins. Yeah. So for some of you, this could definitely spell, some financial difficulties for sure. Sometimes this can be financial bankruptcy. Sometimes this can be about literally losing a job, losing a home. Sometimes you might feel like you're put out in the cold within a certain situation. Sometimes this can be more of a spiritual bankruptcy as well. And this is why I said we do not want to be focusing on everything that's going wrong. And I know that it is easier said than done, but trust me, I know how you guys feel. this is where we really need to, grasp at straws if we have to, find the things in your life that you are grateful for. And trust me, you have plenty of things. They may be small things, but trust me, we have a lot of things, things that people tend to take for granted, and they just look at it like, well, it's there. If you got running water, you got more than a lot of people do. Because trust me, something so small and insignificant is not so small and insignificant to other people. If you're viewing this reading, hey, there's a lot of people that don't have any internet, no computer. They're struggling to find their next meal. Now, some of you could just simply be having fearful thoughts about, what if things don't work out, then maybe I'll lose this and I'll lose that. Because I feel that some of you are just dealing with the actual fear part of it. For some of you, it could happen. Some of you could really be going through some tough financial situations. But fear will not help it. It will feed into it. And this is why I'm saying we have to try to focus on what's good and what we, these small little things that we should be feeling grateful for. Because if we focus on what we're grateful for rather than everything that we're lacking, then we can actually attract more good things to happen. More good things will happen to replace whatever may leave. But like I said, I feel that part of you are just fearing this. Okay, so it's clarified by the Seven of Wands. So this is a card of stiff competition. This could be within your personal life. This could be within your business life. Sometimes it can be a little bit of both. But look at this card. He has 6 opposing wands pointed at him. Look at that defensive stance that he has. He's looking at them like, I will take every single one of you on. And you know what? He can do it. He ain't scared. He is not scared at all. And neither should you be, okay? So this is a card of stiff competition. Perhaps maybe some of you could be competing in financial matters. Maybe some of you are competing, feeling like you're having to compete in regards to your home life. Some of you could be competing to try to get a job. You could have, other people applying, and you may feel like you're having to compete with other people. But there is an emotional element to this card. Sometimes this can be feeling like we have been put out in the cold. See, she's sitting on this step. There's a nice, cozy, warm fire on the inside, but it's like she's been put out. And so there is a bit of an emotional element to this card where maybe we might feel iced out, in regards to a certain situation with a certain person. And maybe, money is a big part of it. But then there's an emotional element to it as well. For some of you, you might feel like you're having to compete. Maybe within a relationship. I'm just throwing this out here. It's not going to resonate with everybody, but it's going to resonate with some, so. Okay. We do have a lot of positive here, okay? So do not let the delay or the fears or the past situations Don't let them cause you to lose your optimism. Like I said, if you hit a delay, just realize that that delay happens for a very good reason. You know, some of you may have to start over in regards to a certain project or whatever it may be. And if that's the way that it goes, then just know that that happened for a reason. And like I said, we're always being protected when we're feeling like we're shut out, we're delayed, we're postponed, things are not working out. Ultimately, we're being protected from something worse, something that's not really meant for us. So it is divine relief, divine aid, whether we realize it or not. Kind of a bit of divine intervention, so to speak. Everything happens for a reason. But do not lose hope. Like I said, I believe in you guys. You need to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself so much that you become stubborn about it. Keep your head up, Tauruses. I love you guys. I'm sending you blessings of healing, prosperity, and love.